everybody, and happy Sunday. Yesterday was a hard day for me, and it was the anniversary of my dad's passing. He died 6 years ago, and so the good thing, I'll start with the good thing, and then I'll talk about the things that I noticed about the day that were kind of hard. The good things was we ate all my dad's favorite foods. We had sandwiches. My dad always called them sandwiches. And we had pasta for supper. My dad loved pasta. If it had really been for my dad, we would have had white sauce, but we had pesto. It was delicious. We put chicken with it. And then we had ice cream with chocolate sauce. Now I had this kind of halo ice cream that has less calories. Karen had the best kind of ice cream they have up here, Tillamook or something like that. They don't sell Bluebell up here, Dad, sorry. So that was fun. We're back to normal today, eating normal things, because I can't really eat stuff like that. But it was fun celebrating my dad with foods he liked, and we had fun doing it. Here's what I wasn't so proud about. I was kind of cranky all day. That wasn't a good way to celebrate Dad. We went to run some errands, and we stopped at our favorite coffee shop, and the line was around the block. We've got a lot of new development here, and you can tell because places you used to like to go to are packed. So that kind of was bad, and I was getting a little cranky, and then so we said, well, we got this new cool Starbucks, we'll go there. And right as we got in line, a big, huge family jumped in front of us, and they took forever to order. The lady at the cash register was having trouble. We got up to order. I said, I would like a medium pike, and she goes, oh, yeah, well, we're out of that. We're going to have to roast it. It could take 10 to 15 minutes. Karen wanted pumpkin bread. They go, oh, we're out of that. But they had about 10 pieces in the dairy case. I don't know what that was about. And I just went, oh my God, I can't believe it, and walked away. And I was really ashamed of that. And Karen said, you know, she's having a bad day. And they gave me a free cup of coffee. And then I told Karen, I don't even want that coffee. And she goes, we'll take it home and drink it later. But of course I drank it. And I told Karen, I got to just come home and stop being around people because I'm so cranky. Good thing UT won, UW won. That was fun football, and I finished my filming for work, editing, it's done. I'm not going to tell my boss it's done yet, but it's done. I'm so excited. That is a weight off my you-know-what. So anyway, now let's talk about Daddy. Well, some things I really miss about my dad is his incredible amount of reading that he did, and he would always share books with me and everything, and it made me really happy when I could give him like the whole Harry Potter thing on the Kindle, so he had time before he died to reread them. But if I had my daddy back, we would read The Lost Princess of Oz again together. I don't think I would make him hold me in his lap. But this book was really, 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 really good. Except I couldn't wait till the end. And I accidentally read, one day I just thought, I'll read the end. And it kind of ruined the book. It was a good lesson to me. And this is my other favorite book, The Tin Woodman of Oz. My dad and I read all the Oz books. He got them all. These are the two that I still have. We read them all. And I got those for him on the Kindle too. I think he reread all the Oz books too before he died. He absolutely loved it. He was always sad that they would make more Star Wars movies that he would miss after he died. I got my dad's old books, and when I was a kid, I reread these a million times. They're in terrible condition, but I just think about all the days I went through them. This is Aesop's Fables for Children, and this other one is called On the Road to Make Believe. And every Saturday morning I would go through these and read them. And I realize I'm not reading that much anymore, but this kind of made me think I need to. So thank you, Dad, for teaching me how to read. But better than that, holding me in your lap and reading to me every night. And then as I got a little older, I'd read a page, you'd read a couple pages. And sometimes I even think Daddy fell asleep, but that's okay. So that's about books with my dad. So now I keep moving around so the video won't get too boring. I'm sitting in my rocking chair now. And I have with me here, and I'll show it up above because I don't want to focus on it. A picture of me and my dad. We played in his IREM, that was his real estate management golf tournament. And man, he put on a great spread. They had great prizes. My brother-in-law, Marty, would come. Karen played with us one time. Like the prizes were like TVs and stuff, and everybody loved it. There was tons of food and alcohol and everything. But the most important thing for me was playing with my dad. And I played golf with my dad for a long time, and I don't know how he kept playing golf with me, because sometimes I'd cry, sometimes I'd pout. One time he just told me, we were playing in Austin, and it's before they had Morris William fence, and he said, just take the cart across the street, get yourself a soda. And I drove my cart across Manor and went to a little convenience store, got a soda, and came back. And those are memories that I'll never forget. Another thing that, like, my dad taught me a lot of stuff, and most of it he would say, now we just leave this on the golf course. But sometimes we would play at Vista Hills, and we'd get off work and it'd be really windy. And the first hole would be like crosswind, and the second hole would be crosswind, and the third hole it was kind of behind your back. But the fourth hole, you climbed up this big hill and it was just blowing right at you, and you'd hit it as hard as you could and it would like almost come back at you. And one time it was so cold and windy and dust stormy, and we just had to hide under this like hill as it blew past. And Dad had a little whiskey in his bag, and I was telling him, I am so cold, and I was crying. And he said, take a sip of this, and it just burned going down. And I was like, oh my God, but it did make it better. I was able to continue on. Another thing Dad did was every Sunday that we played at Vista Hills, they would always have my dad take 2 other kids with him, and he was like herding cats for my dad. I don't know how he did it, but that taught me a lot about his personality, that he could put up with that. And when we'd play at Vista Hills and make the turn, I couldn't go into the men's grill because that was back then, women weren't allowed. And my dad would always get me my favorite cheese crackers and a tab. So thank you for that, Dad. And I wish I could play golf with you one more time. And I also have his bank here. Maybe my mom will correct me on this video, but I think this was my dad's bank. But anyway, I think about him, and my dad always taught me to be pretty generous, especially on the golf course. Like, you need to tip good. Those people are working hard and you're having fun. And I always think about my dad. He was very generous with his money, and I think that's a good quality. He also, this bank reminds me every time I look at it how hard my dad worked. I remember as a little kid, one Saturday he said, you know, Irene, I have to go into the office or meet a client or something, and you're going to go with me. I don't know why I had to go, but maybe babysitting wise. And we had a Volkswagen, and he parked it out on the street and said, I'll be back in an hour. And I think he was gone a really long time, like 3 hours. And I just sat in that Volkswagen. I looked at everything in the glove box. I think I took a little nap. And afterwards, my dad was so proud of me that I had just stayed there and had not like come into the office or wandered off. And I think he felt kind of bad too. And he said, would you like to go eat at Leo's? And I did. And we had like a big enchilada lunch. And it was a really good memory. So this reminds me of my dad's hard work and generosity. So I was putting all that stuff away, and I was thinking about a couple of times that I got mad at my dad when I thought he wasn't doing stuff right. Like one time I think he was pretty severe in his punishment, and I don't think that was right. But overall I had a really good dad, and I thought, should I even say some of the, like a negative thing? And I thought, I think I should, or people will just think I'm making him into a saint. And he was just a dad, you know. He was a normal man, and he was a good man. And I'm glad he was my dad. And now I'm going to talk about how sometimes I'm like my dad. Sometimes I get really mad, and my dad had a temper too. It didn't come out very much, but he had one. And sometimes I get like that, and then I start laughing because I think about things my dad did that I thought, woo, you're really getting mad, and then I notice I do it. So I think that's kind of funny. Another thing my dad did is when I would play golf and I'd hit a bad shot, my dad would go, I think you're going to be able to find that. I think that's going to be just fine. And I would get furious. It's like, Dad, it's way out in the crud. I'll never find it. It's terrible. And you know, when I play golf with people now and they hit a terrible shot, I hear my dad's voice come right out of my mouth. Oh, I think that'd be okay. I think we'll be able to find that, and you're going to be fine. And I just giggle. Another thing that I think about my dad a lot is I fall asleep in front of the TV, and Karen will like hit my leg and go, are you watching that? Are you awake? And we used to do that to my dad, and you know, it made him mad. And it makes me kind of cranky too, but boy, I get it, Dad. I get tired after work now, and I eat supper, and I sit down, and I just fall asleep. So these are some things. I wish I had the grace that my dad had, and I'm getting kind of choked up about this part. But at the end of my dad's life, he was super cool about it. He wasn't the perfect patient. He was a lot of work. He was hard on my mom. But he wasn't afraid, and he was a good role model about how to leave this world the way you want to. And I hope I can be like that at the end of my life. I miss my dad every day, and I'd give the world to be able to play golf with him again, or read a book or something. But not everybody gets a great dad, and I am super thankful for Mr. Jack Effrey Jr. And that's all I got to say. I'm sorry I kind of got choked up. And I thought maybe I would show some pictures of my dad. And I'll just put titles as I show that. Anyway, everybody enjoy your family. They're here too short. And that's my dad video. Bye!